First round pick concerns. There might be a lot of them. We'll talk about it right now on FFT Express. Yeah, I was thinking about this topic. First round pick concerns. It's like everybody? Not quite, but not like McCaffrey injured. Tyreek Hill, we're not too concerned, but hand injury. He's 30 if people care about that. Lamb, Chase, yep. Bijan, we don't ever talk about that one. I actually want to start with that one. All the talk about Tyler Algier and how involved he'll be. What do you make of that with Bijan Robinson?
So the projection that I saw was 16 rush attempts per game for Bijan, which is 272 rush attempts for the season. And I have him projected for 274, and he's my number 3 pick overall. I think he's going to be heavily used in the passing game. When I'm looking at like the guys that have a first round ADP that I have zero concern about, it would be Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and AJ Brown.
Okay. You don't think Barkley or a resurgent Devontae Smith hurt AJ Brown?
I don't know. I think that the Barkley thing is way overblown, and I think if anything, the Eagles are more likely to pass more than they did last year than less. And neither Jalen Hurts or Kellen Moore have had a high running back target share in their past. So I don't think that he's going to impact AJ Brown, and I don't think there's any way that Saquon Barkley should be going before AJ Brown, which he is in CBS drafts.
Right. So he would be a headliner of your first round pick concerns.
The most concerned I am about any first round pick would be Saquon Barkley.
Where are you on Christian McCaffrey right now?
He's still my number 1 overall pick. I am tempted to put Breece and Bijan ahead of him. But, I mean, you just think about it. Like a 28-year-old running back who with a current calf injury, I took him first overall in the FFT Open. Mm-hmm. But if there is one thing that we look back on and say, man, we were all dumb about that, that would be the most obvious.
Yeah, I also think Heath getting the first overall pick in the FFT Open 2 years in a row is something that we're going to have to look at here.
If you want to hit the randomize button, you have commissioner access. I would very much like that. I didn't really want the first overall pick, but then when Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave fell to me at the 2-3 turn, I felt pretty good about it.
Okay, yeah, not bad. What is your concern level for Tyreek Hill right now?
It's probably about the lowest of the other wide receivers. I don't like the fact that he's 30, and I don't like the fact that he's got whatever this hand injury is, but I don't think it probably matters. Maybe there's still a little bit of concern with Tua's health, but not really. He's a safe top 5 pick. I wouldn't consider, had no thoughts of dropping him.
That's kind of an interesting thing to think about here. Does he have the worst backup quarterback in the first round? Mike White, Skylar Thompson, those are the backups there. We've seen that show before. And then you've got Jake Browning, good backup quarterback, right? Cooper Rush, is that the backup for the Cowboys?
I think Cooper Rush is currently the backup.
Nick Mullins, we've already seen him with Justin Jefferson. Oh, God, who's Detroit's?
Hendon Hooker?
That might be worse. I
think Cooper Rush might be worse than Mike White too.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. All right. Anyway, because we saw some bad production, more for Waddle, I think, but a little bit for Hill 2 years ago when Tua got hurt. We're probably not thinking about that anyway. All right. So Tyreek Hill, we've talked about McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley. No concerns for Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson. So let's get into guys like CeeDee Lamb and Ja'Marr Chase when we come back after this break on Fantasy Football Today Express. All right, where are you on Lamb and Chase right now? Still holding out or holding in?
Well, I'm mostly still holding in, but I did move Lamb behind Tyreek Hill, and I moved.
They are holding out or holding in. I didn't.
Yes, I'm holding in there with him as first round picks. Chase is down to the 9th pick for me, so behind Jefferson and AJ Brown. It's a big 9, a clear 9 for me, but still ahead of Garrett Wilson and Jonathan Taylor. I probably won't drop them anymore unless we get to like week 1.
Okay. And Jonathan Taylor is someone we should talk about here. right now. Last year he was holding out and injured. So this is an improvement of that.
Somebody, and I do this all the time, I'm sorry for not giving you credit, made a very good point on Twitter and said, if you're really that worried about Saquon Barkley because of Jalen Hurts, are you that worried about Jonathan Taylor? And I think it's a good point. I think Jonathan Taylor is a better rusher at this stage of his career than Saquon Barkley, and he's on the same team that he's been on. And I think that they're probably they don't have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith at wide receiver, but he's probably going to have some touchdowns stolen by Anthony Richardson. He's probably going to have a low total catch total. There's a reason that there's 9 clear first round picks for me. I don't think Jonathan Taylor is a must as a round 1 pick. But he's at that 1-2 turn for sure.
Yeah. And he is 10th overall on ADP. Did we talk about Justin Jefferson? I don't think we talked about him. Let's talk about Justin Jefferson, who's just after Jonathan Taylor in our PPR ADP.
I lowered him a little bit because I think the upside might be a little lower. I'm not actually worried about him like being below 18 or 19 fantasy points per game as a wide receiver. Like we saw what he was with Nick Mullins, and Nick Mullins is the backup quarterback. Like Sam Darnold is just atrocious. I still think Justin Jefferson's probably going to be okay.
And he is ahead of Chase.
He is currently ahead of Chase. Both of them are behind AJ Brown for me.
The only other player here with actually that's it. A guy who has a top 12 ADP. I think we've covered everyone, but that's only 10 players on CBS. There are only 10 players who on average are being drafted in the top 12. AJ Brown is 14th and Jahmyr Gibbs is also 14th. So he has the 12th highest ADP, but it is not in the top 12. But Jahmyr Gibbs, let's say he's a borderline round 1 pick.
Yeah, I think we should also probably just hit on Garrett Wilson real quick because he's a top 12 pick most other places. But the Gibbs concern is obvious. He currently has a hamstring. He had some other sort of injury earlier this summer. He missed a couple of games last year with a hamstring injury. He is not worth a first round pick if he's what he was in the second half of last year. You've highlighted that many times. So we need an increase in workload, and he's currently hurt.
Saw him go 17th. I'm looking at FFT Open Leagues. He went 17th in Will Brinson's league. In my league, Jahmyr Gibbs went 13th. So where did he go?
11th in mine.
11th in yours. Let's see where he went in the Katie Mox league. He went 15th. Okay. All right, Heath Cummings, thank you very much. This is Fantasy Football Today Express. We'll have another episode for you tomorrow. So please hit that like button on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, FFT Express, and we'll be back. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody.